Adrian had always believed he had time. Time to practice more. Time to write the perfect song. Time to share his music when it was finally good enough. He played guitar since he was 12, pouring his feelings into melodies that never left his bedroom. His notebooks overflowed with half-written lyrics, verses scribbled in margins, chords taped to the walls like wallpaper of unfinished dreams. Friends who visited told him, "You should put this out. People would love it." Adrian always smiled politely and shook his head. "Not yet. I need to be better. The timing isn't right." But timing, as life would prove, waits for no one. One rainy Thursday evening, Adrian sat at a small cafe, sipping black coffee and absent-mindedly strumming his guitar. The cafe wasn't crowded, just a handful of students tapping on laptops and an older couple sharing tea. He wasn't performing, he was just there, keeping his fingers warm, letting the music run out of him like a secret. Then a man in a brown jacket approached. He was in his late 40s, with kind eyes and a notebook under his arm. "That song you just played," he said. "Is it yours?" Adrian froze. He wasn't used to strangers noticing him. "Ah, yeah, just something I've been working on." The man smiled. "It's beautiful. You ever thought of performing live?" Adrian laughed nervously. "Not really. I'm not ready for all that." The man didn't push. He simply nodded and left, but not before handing Adrian his business card. Daniel Cross, music producer. Adrian slipped the card into his guitar case and tried to forget about it. Producers don't just walk into cafes. This is probably nothing, he told himself. But later that night, staring at the card on his desk, he couldn't shake the thought, what if it was something? He decided to ignore it. Weeks passed. Adrian continued his quiet routine. Work, practice, scribble, repeat. He told himself he was building toward someday. But one night, scrolling through social media, he saw a video of a young street performer who had gone viral. Millions of views, comments from people around the world saying how her song spoke to them. Something inside him twisted, not jealousy exactly, but a sharp ache of recognition. She hadn't waited. She had sung on a street corner with nothing but her voice and a borrowed guitar. And the world had listened. The next morning, Adrian pulled out Daniel's card. His hands shook as he dialed the number. "Hello." Daniel's voice answered warmly. "Ah. Hi, this is Adrian, the guy from the cafe. I don't know if you remember." "Of course I remember," Daniel said. "I was hoping you'd call. I've got an open mic spot at a small venue next week. Interested?" Adrian's throat went dry. I don't know if I'm ready." Daniel chuckled. "You'll never feel ready. But opportunity doesn't wait, Adrian. Say yes." Against every ounce of fear in his body, Adrian whispered, "Okay." The following week, Adrian stood backstage, palms sweating, heart pounding like a war drum. He almost walked out the back door 3 times before they called his name. When he stepped into the spotlight, the room seemed to tilt. Faces blurred in the dim glow, whispers swirled like static. He clutched his guitar, fingers trembling. Then he remembered something his late grandmother used to tell him. "When you play, don't play for the crowd. Play for the one person who needs your song." He closed his eyes, took a shaky breath, and let the first chord ring out. The song was one he'd never shared before, written on a night when loneliness had weighed heavy on him. He sang with a rawness that surprised even himself. When he finished, silence filled the room for a split second. Then applause broke out, louder than he'd ever imagined. People were standing, whistling, cheering. Adrian blinked in disbelief. Afterward, strangers approached him, saying things like, "That song hit me right in the heart," and, "You have to record that." One woman even said, tears in her eyes, "I needed to hear that tonight." In that moment, Adrian understood what his grandmother had meant. His music wasn't about being ready. It was about being brave enough to share what was inside him, because someone out there might need it. That night turned into a series of small gigs. Daniel helped him polish his songs, introducing him to other musicians and guiding him through the intimidating world of recording. Adrian's first EP was raw, imperfect, but it carried his truth. To his surprise, people responded. One evening, scrolling through messages, Adrian came across a note from a young man overseas. "I was going through depression. Your song kept me from giving up. Thank you." Adrian stared at the screen, tears welling in his eyes. If he had kept waiting, that young man might never have heard the song. He realized then that music, like opportunity, wasn't meant to be hoarded. It was meant to be shared. Years later, Adrian stood on the stage of a crowded festival, thousands of people swaying to his songs. He thought back to that rainy cafe, the business card in his case, the fear that almost kept him silent. Opportunity hadn't waited, but thankfully, he had decided to leap. And now, standing before the roaring crowd, Adrian strummed his guitar with a smile and thought, "Neither did I." Moral: opportunity doesn't wait for perfect timing, perfect skill, or perfect courage. It waits for action. The world doesn't need your someday. It needs your song today.